I'ma do you in Eddie Gordo style, baby.
I enjoy a lot of fighting games. Actually, it's not only Tekken, but I think Tekken 8 is a pretty good game. I'm actually having a lot of fun playing it. It's actually one of the most fun games I've ever played in fighting games.
Whoa, the most fun fighting game you ever played?
Yeah, that's what's up. I'm actually having really fun time playing it right now.
Give us like just like a rough top five.
An objective perspective, Killer Instinct's gotta be the best game to ever exist, like fighting game wise. That game was like a complete package. Maybe Street Fighter 6 is next, and Tekken 8. I can see them around the same area. And I really love Mortal Kombat X. Tekken 7 is definitely up there as well.
You're kind of new to fighting games because you didn't really say like any like Third Strike or Street Fighter. So it sounds like you're
No, no,
more
no,
so
no.
in the new generation.
Yeah, I've been more so the new generation. Also, Dragon Ball Fighter is definitely also up there.
That's how most people are. Like most people who probably show up to fighting games probably played Street Fighter 4, 5, 6, Tekken 7, 8, and then that's probably it. You know what I mean? Or maybe they have a fuzzy memory of like one of the old Tekkens, you know?
I mean, let me tell you what. If you started with Tekken 7, that's like around 10 years ago. That's actually a lot of time. So yeah, I don't think that's like actually really new to fighting games.
Yeah.
It was such an amazing game, but I strongly believe that Tekken 8 is better, is a better one. When you watch Tekken 7 and like you play Tekken 7, you definitely encountered like one of these sweats who always only backdash and play the game like a 2D fighting game. And Sidestep wasn't as good in Tekken 7, so it was not as fun as Tekken 8. I think aggression is fun. They're definitely kind of overdoing it in Tekken 8, but yeah, that's all like fixable. That's all like not a core problem with the game. It's all like something that they can fix with a couple of patches. I mean, vanilla Tekken 7 wasn't good either.
This is where I break it down. You can tell me whether you agree or disagree. So I think Tekken 7 on release had a very very solid foundation, and the only problems that may existed were like characters or like like Paul Phoenix. People show like year one Paul Phoenix combos and it's insane, right? But with Tekken 8, I think it's not. It is characters like you have Yoshimitsu, Dragunov, but I think it's also like the structure of the game, the foundation of the game is also kind of shaky as well. There is nothing in Tekken 7 that is as controversial as the heat system.
Well, the heat system is kind of controversial, especially in some characters like Yoshimitsu. But I think it's an amazing addition to the game. It can be toned down, obviously, but I don't see it as the core problem. I see the problem like is with some characters just having a lot of bullshit going in and like pressing a lot of buttons, and that's like I see it as a character's problem. I mean, look, this game is actually a 3D game. Back in Tekken 7, you didn't really sidestep, right? Sidestep didn't really work. You only backdash. And these infinite stages, man, they were not fun. Watching people play like in the highest level infinite stages was not fun at all. In Tekken 8, there is more decision to be made, more actual engagement in the game. I think that makes it more fun to play. And that's not the only problem with Tekken 7. It was played 2D. It wasn't like you're talking about defensive options. Yes, you didn't do side steps to Tekken 7. Didn't really do as much as Tekken 8, right? Now side step actually work. I think, but just backdash maybe need a little buff. Not the backdash itself, but moves right now have a lot of range. They're harder to make with. I think even defensively, Tekken 8 still like amazing. Have you seen knee plays?
Yeah.
He's playing like a defensive monster, and he's showing you like it actually works to play defensively in this game.
So you said you play Kazuya. What
Yeah,
rank are you, just so we could get an idea of?
Tekken King. I've been hard stuck in Tekken King.
And why do you think that is?
Skill issue. I think it's a skill issue. I think because I'm not really labbing the characters, and Kazuya is definitely a character that need to be familiar with the opponent's character.
Would you say that like
I'm
your execution is like? Because I know Kazuya is kind of demanding. Would you say like you got those electrics, or are you still working on it?
Yeah. I do definitely got those electrics. Like that's why I'm having so much fun because I've been like playing Kazuya, and Kazuya is really demanding, but he's also really fun. I think it also like if you're not really enjoying the game these days, maybe try a new character. Maybe a new character will fix that issue. I used to play Tekken. I used to play Jack 8 and Claudio at the starting of Tekken 8, and I didn't really play much. I was like, it's a fine game. I'd rather play Street Fighters. But the moment I switched to like so Kazuya, where he like suited my playstyle more, I really enjoyed the game. I started feeling like this is the most fun game ever.
Yeah, I agree. I played a little bit of Kazuya in 7 and Tac 2. Not a lot. Like I played like really a little bit. I played more of them in Tac 2, but I do think Kazuya is kind of satisfying, even if you can't really pull off the electrics and the hell sweep. I just think his kit is just pretty cool, which is why I think he's so popular.
I think this is a problem with Tekken, right?
Hmm.
The characters who are the easier to pilot are the highest in the tier list. I think that the character should tier list should be based around the character's difficulty, because you can't make a character like Claudio who needs like a fucking rat to play a top tier. He can't be a top tier. Shaheen can't be a top tier where he's that easy. I mean, Shaheen kind of have executions, but anything else is definitely very easy. Dragunov, very easy character. Like these characters, in my opinion, are a problem to be top tier. I really struggle with them. I really struggle with because you can't really like counterplay them because they have options that cover everything. Yoshimitsu is also one of them.
I kind of agree and disagree. Like I do agree that like, characters who are super simple should not be as effective. The character who this applies to the most, in my opinion, is Alyssa. Alyssa is way too simple to be
I
this
definitely
effective.
agree. I don't know how I forgot about her. I
Yeah,
definitely agree.
yeah, she
She is
is
way
too
too
much.
stupid.
Yeah.
And also like Claudio, oh my god, I hate that character. Like you see, even so someone who enjoys the game, I still have face issues. But I rock with them. Like that's normal.
That's like a part of fighting games, like you're gonna have characters you like and dislike in matchups and whatnot. So I really like don't put that on
Exactly.
Tekken. Like you're not gonna like 36 characters. You're not gonna be like, yeah, I love every character. Like that's, you know what I mean? What do you think will happen in season 2? What's your like expectations, your predictions?
My prediction is definitely different than what I wish for. I think that they are gonna add all these crazy moves. Like we've witnessed this in Tekken 7, right? We've witnessed them adding moves, adding crazy patch notes where they where they like patch a lot of the things, but it doesn't actually. At the end of the day, it doesn't actually fixes a lot of the problems once you look at the full pictures. I think they're not gonna be as big as people think, but they're definitely gonna change the game in a lot of ways. But what I wish for is nerfing all these top tens. I wish all these top tens, like if they tone down, I think the game would be so much better, so much fun to play, and you'll see every character. Because in this game, this is this case. In this game, there is no actual bad characters. Every character is viable. There is no Gigas in this game. If you have top 10 that is much stronger than the other cast, people will just pick them, and the game will be a little more boring.
Well, the question I was going to ask you is, so there's kind of a conversation going on right now around Kazuya, and you say you play Kazuya. I was told that Main Man and Fighting GM were, I don't know if they were discussing it or whatever, but basically that Kazuya is Fighting GM was saying that Kazuya is super easy to use, and all they do is spam forward 4-2. But then there's a countering side to it that says like Kazuya is like kind of weak and he needs buffs. So you as like a Kazuya player, like what do you think about like the forward 4-2, and also like, is Kazuya weak, strong? Like what do you think?
Kazuya is definitely not weak whatsoever. He's actually, I think, like a really solid character, at least top 15. Like Arsenal Ash have put him in bottom tier, and I was like shocked, even as a Kazuya player who was actually struggling. I think Kazuya is very strong. I've seen the video of the person that you're speaking of, this guy who said Kazuya is easy and you just spam shit. Like I don't know. Like I respect that person. I've known him for a while. He have been playing this game for a really long while, but he doesn't realize that that's why he thinks it's easy, because you've been playing the game for a really long while and you've actually good at the game. But it took me at least a month to just like start piloting Kazuya, like a month to just escape the like red ranks. Like for someone like me who is your average Joe, I don't think Kazuya is nowhere near easy. I think he's actually the hardest character in the entire game. Where like even the most basic things with Kazuya, like poking, for example, you need to poke with your electric. Like even the little things that Kazuya need to do involves execution. So I think it's definitely not easy, but definitely not weak as well.
That was very well said. I agree. I think poking and punishing with an electric, because I always downplay Kazuya, like I always say like, oh, it's just muscle memory. Once you practice the electric, the muscle memory takes over and you could just do it. And that's why I wouldn't consider him that strong, but still like the hurdle of having to however long, because it takes everyone a different amount of time, however long it takes you to like master that electric, but then to go into a match and have to punish with that, like I'd be struggling to punish with like a normal down 4-2-3 or something, right? So it is kind of demanding. And I do agree with you when I like, some of these pro players have so much experience and they don't really understand what it's like to be someone who's new, or maybe not even new, someone who's been playing for 2 years or 3 years, like these guys been playing for like decades, and what they think is easy is not the standard. And I try to highlight that a lot, like especially with the tier list as well. Like when you see someone who's been playing Tekken for 30 years, every single Tekken, and they talk about which characters is the strongest and the worst, that's not gonna apply to someone who's been playing for 2 years. And the pro players kind of see it from a skewed perspective at times, and even myself, and that's why I wanted to like hear other people perspectives, because I think sometimes we could get lost in our own journey.
I think that's very mature of you to listen to other people and like just not be ignorant about your opinion. And like I think that person like who have said Kazuya is easy and didn't even elaborate. It was just like, oh, you just do forward sword two and you just do electric and that's it. That's like what's hard about it. That the fact that you have a very like linear gameplay that makes your opponent like knows what you want to do. That bites you in the ass at the end. Like this is a very honest character that you're playing against. So Kazuya player can't bullshit you. He actually have to be a better player than you. I think that this wasn't like a mature move of him to just like ignore what people say and go the opposite way and be like, oh, this character is actually easy. No, I don't think anyone else agree with him that Kazuya is easy.